Hello everyone, myself Antari from Zorat Medical College. Let's start with Kingdom Protista, the remaining portion. Last class we have discussed about protozoans, amoeboid protozoans, and today we are going to continue with amoeboid protozoans remaining part. The next very important MCQ, which is by the way the 108 MCQ we have discussed till so far, is that pseudopodia. Amoeboid protozoans forms pseudopodia, which is also called as false pit, seen in amoeba. Now, marine forms of these amoeboid protozoans, they form silica cells. They form silica cells on the surface. It can also be an MCQ. And all the examples you have to you have to remember all the examples of these groups, because they might ask you to arrange with column A and column A to column B, or they might ask you the particular example giving in options amoeboid, flagellated, ciliated, and sporozoans. They might ask you entamoeba belongs to which group, and you have to answer. So you have to remember this. Now coming to flagellated protozoans, they are free living and parasitic. You have to remember the habitat of all these groups, because habitat is such a thing that minor difference they may ask every minor difference they may ask you a question. And examples, as I have already told you, that flagellated protozoans, trypanosoma, you have to remember, and this causes sleeping sickness. Sometimes this pet question might ask which organism causes sleeping sickness. Is that trypanosoma or flagellated protozoans they might give. Now ciliated protozoans, they are actively moving. You have to remember this term, actively moving. This has been asked many times because they have cilia. Now they have a cavity or gullet that opens to the outside of the cell surface, or coordinated movement of rows of cilia causes water laden to food steered into the gullet. An example is paramecium. Example you have to remember. Sporozoans, example is plasmodium. Do not confuse with the plasmodium you got in slime molds. They form a plasmodium. This is a structure. This plasmodium is a structure, and this plasmodium is an organism. So you have to you should not confuse between this. Plasmodium is malarial parasite. This pet question might ask which causes malaria. This is plasmodium. You will get this in class 12 also, but you have to remember for the time being malaria is caused by plasmodium. Now coming to the kingdom fungi, the most probable MCQ, and the one which is very easy, that is they are heterotrophic organisms. You have to be very clear about this term. Heterotrophic organisms are kingdom fungi, because they might ask you about other kingdoms and you might get confused. Now unicellular fungi is yeast. You have to very clear. And other pet questions, sometimes they may ask you, and frequently they actually ask you, that mushroom and toadstool are which organism. They are fungi. They belong to kingdom fungi. So these pet questions you should not confuse in your exam like situation. Now wheat rusting is caused by Putrunia, and you have to remember this. This has been asked many times. Some are sources of antibiotics, penicillium, and fungi are cosmopolitan. This is an important line, and you should study that line also. Now yeast are unicellular, as I have already told you, but fungi are filamentous. You have to remember this term, filamentous. And the bodies consist of long, slender, thread-like structure called hyphae. This sentence is very important. Long, slender, thread-like structure. They might ask you what is hyphae. You have to answer long, slender, thread-like structure. Now network of hyphae forms mycelium. This MCQ has been asked many times. Which forms a mycelium? That is, network of hyphae forms a mycelium. You have to remember this. Now some hyphae have multinucleated cytoplasm. That is, they do not have the septum in between them. They are called coenocytic hyphae. Now some have septate hyphae also. You have to remember, when there is a multinucleated system and do not have septa in between them, it is coenocytic hyphae. This has been asked many times, and this is a feature of many other groups in kingdom fungi. You have to be very clear, because this term will come again. Now coming to some of them absorb soluble material from dead substrate, that is saprophytes. If they mention dead substrate, then it is saprophytes. Now some are parasites, and which symbiont is called when they form associate with algae. You have to be very clear. They will try to confuse you is it algae or is it protista or it is kingdom plenty or what, but you have to be very very clear this is algae with which association they forms lichens. And roots of higher plants mycorrhiza is found. This MCQ has been asked many times, you have to be very very clear. And the reproduction in fungi is very very important. But they may reproduce vegetative means by fragmentation, fission and budding, which we will study in the next class. And asexual reproduction is by spores. You should not confuse these terms. Thank you.